In studio, everybody, Mr. Nick Geraghty from DHA Mortgage and Financial and all things money. How are you, buddy?
That's right. I'm good. How are you, Erik?
I'm perfect. You
awesome.
are using the inner lining of your coat today as your pocket square. It is
That's
popping
right. Fancy.
out.
Yeah.
If you could see him right now, some of you are watching on video, your heart's going to go pitter-patter. Well-dressed and looking sharp.
Thank you, my man.
Nick, I have a specific direction I want to go today because we're talking about investing.
Love it.
Do you own a house?
I do. Yep.
When did you buy your house? Because you are a youngin in the world, but you bought your house early on.
I did. Yeah, I bought it December of 2017, so we're coming up on the 2-year mark here.
Okay, so almost 2 years you've lived in your house. And how old are you, Nick?
I am 27.
Okay, like you stopped to think about that, right? Yeah. The average person isn't buying a house at 25 like you did. What do you know the average age of somebody buying their first house?
I would have to guess around 30.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. It's around 30, and it changes every year. But millennials are slower to get into homeownership because of what?
Student loans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it hurts.
Yep, it's a lot different. I mean, prices are higher as well, but when you add into the equation higher prices and higher debt, it's even worse for a lot of millennials that getting in than generations before.
Now let's talk because I want to create a few scenarios here, Nick. Let's say you're a parent and you're sending your kid to NDSU for the first time.
Yep.
But you have 2 kids and they're 3 years apart. How many years total? We're going to check your math here. How many years total will your student be living on or near campus?
7.
Yeah. 7 years. And that's if they just go for 4 years.
Yep.
Now, let's say they're going to live on campus for their first year. So we're going to say 6 years total.
Yep.
We'll shave off one of those years. If your student is going to, and your child is going to be living near campus for 6 years, you could pay rent at an apartment. Do you know what apartments around campus are running nowadays?
I would say they got to be 1,000, 1,200, 13.
A 2-bedroom apartment is nearing $1,400 or $1,500 a month.
Keeps going up.
Now they're putting in everything in that. Like that includes your cable, your internet, your electricity, your heat. Not a bad, like it's not a terrible price when you pull it all together.
Right.
But if you, over the course of 6 years, pay $1,200 a month, that's $14,400 a year for 6 years.
Not cheap. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking
approaching tuition prices.
We're talking $90,000 that you would spend on rent. Okay.
Yep. I think I know where you're going with this. I like it.
Pretty common situation for people is they have rent and $90,000 is pretty common. Now we use that number of $1,200. Okay.
Yep.
A $1,200 payment on a mortgage, if you have 20% down, is how much house?
20% down, you're going to be able to purchase at least 200 to 220.
Okay. And a $200,000 house in and around the NDSU area, that'll get you 3 or 4 bedrooms, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So at 3 or 4 bedrooms, you're actually going to be able to charge, and I own a number of rental properties around that area, you're going to be able to charge, say, $350 a month per bedroom.
Per bedroom, yep.
So that means you can have, and by the way, you can only have up to 3 unrelated people that are living in a house.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's an interesting rule. It's a Fargo rule. It's not a Moorhead rule. It's a little bit hold back. So let's say you're renting $400 a room, and you have 3 rooms filled.
Yep.
Okay. Your room and then 2 other people. So you're now at $1,200.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you're following me. So you can have a 3-bedroom house or a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment for the same price. Okay.
Yep.
Right. But now we're taking a look at the specifics because you have 2 of those 3 rooms that other people are paying rent on.
Right on. Yep.
Right. Or at least you have one other person that's helping to pay rent. So now you're feeling a little more cash positive. But let's talk about the kind of investment it's going to take to actually make you money on this house. We're going to look at a 30-year mortgage. Okay.
Yep.
On a 30-year mortgage, let's do a $200,000 house. A $200,000 house on a 30-year mortgage means that your payment is going to be boy, I should put down 20%, shouldn't I? That's what we talked about. We're going to look at an under $800 a month payment. And then taxes and insurance
etc.
specials, right?
Yep.
So we're still at maybe $1,100.
Yep.
So cheaper. So owning a house, we've established already, is less expensive than renting an apartment. correct?
We haven't even added in appreciation or your equity you're building.
No, let's jump here. Nick, tell me and tell the people that you're listening to, what do you see? How much cash in year one is going to go towards your principal, towards the savings account?
About $1,600.
Okay, $1,600. How about after 6 years?
After 6, I mean, you're getting up to $3,000 a year in the next couple of years. So you're over the 18,000.
Yeah, so you're basically taking $20,000 and putting it back in your pocket, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
But that house that you bought for $200,000 has now appreciated, right?
That it has.
And what did I say it appreciates each year?
About 4%.
Yep. So a 4% appreciation over 6 years makes that house worth what now? You should see the Rain Man numbers that are happening right now. Let's say, I mean, we're a 4% appreciation on $200,000 is $8,000 a year.
Yep.
And we're going to do that for 6 years. We're at $50,000.
And plus 4% of 208 is higher than 200.
Now you're getting way into a calculator thing that I'm not going to go and do. We're going to simply say your house that you purchased for $200 after 6 years is worth $250. Fair?
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Yeah. And you've paid down your mortgage how much? You said about $20,000.
About 20.
Right?
Yep.
So $70,000 you've now put towards your property, or you've made back on your property, and your payment has still been less than it was to rent. You're $70,000 or $80,000 cash ahead after 6 years.
Amen.
Let's talk about investments, Nick.
Yep.
Okay. Situation number 2. You right now are saying, Eric, I want to invest. You own a house for you. You have a roommate, but you want to invest in a property. What do you look for?
If you're looking to invest as far as someone renting it out, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. You're looking at local area rental prices. You're looking at, being able to get someone in what's, the average prices, I guess, what you have to put down.
Yeah.
What are you looking for specifically?
Yeah, Nick, you know what I look for is I look for the rule of 1%. Have we talked about this?
We have.
Okay,
Yep.
What's the rule of 1%? Because it is the most simple way to say, is this going to be advantageous with your financials?
Yep. Is 1% of the purchase price about what you'd be able to charge for rent?
Yeah, correct. So let's say you buy a place for $120,000. You should be able to rent that out for about $1,200.
Right.
Now the example I used was $200. And that's because you're living in it, right? That's one of your family members, and maybe a little different. But if you own a rental property, if you expect to get $1,500 a month in rent, you got to buy under $150, right? If you want your numbers to be perfect.
Right. Yep.
How much do interest rates affect these payments?
A huge deal. Yeah. I mean, just if you were to buy last December versus now, your payment's going to be $150 higher because rates are about 1% less than they were a year ago. $100 to $150 higher because you bought last year versus today. Bingo.
Okay.
Yep.
Rates right now are historically low. And man, we've been saying low rates for forever. It feels like
since probably March. Yeah.
Yeah. But really, I've been doing real estate radio now, 7 years? I think I've always been saying it's low rates. But we saw them go up last year.
Yeah.
And we thought that they would stay up, and now they've dropped down a little bit again.
Exactly.
I think the window's closing, Nick. Don't you?
I agree. Actually, this past week here was the first time that rates bumped back up since December, January.
Okay.
Yep.
And the lower the rate, the more you can afford, right? The more money that's back in your pocket.
That's exactly right. Yep.
On $150 a month, if you own that house for 30 years.
Huge difference.
Oh my gosh. We're talking $1,800 a year for 30 years.
Exactly.
I'm no math wizard, but that's a lot of money.
It is.
We're talking over $50,000 in your pocket just because of a better interest rate.
Yep, and it makes a big difference too, especially if you're only going to be in the house, say maybe 4 or 5 years, because a lot more of your initial payments going towards the principal of your loan versus a high interest loan.
I mean, when you can, you should do a 15 or 20 year mortgage instead of 30, right?
Absolutely. If you can, it's going to make a huge difference just on the principal payments you're making early on. So you're going to get more equity back on the sale if you do decide to sell. If you're going to keep it as an investment property, you're going to be more cash positive earlier on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. Nick, I want people to talk to you about investing. I want them to figure out where their money's going. How do they get in contact with you?
They can get in contact with me at DHAloan.com, and you can find me under Meet the Team.
Perfect.
You'll find Nick Geraghty there. You got my cell phone number and my email address. Again, that was DHAloan.com.
Perfect. Nick, we're going to be investing together here in the future.
Absolutely.
There's big things ahead. Folks, I hope you feel that urgency that you got to start being wise with your money, and real estate is the place to be wise with it.
That it is.
Folks, we're going to break. Head to hatchrealty.com in the meantime. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.